I think when you love somebody, you want to see that person again and again. It's as simple as that. And this whole path, the spiritual path, is based upon love and devotion. The rest is all made up for our mind. Meditation is not the spiritual path. Trying to go within is not the spiritual path. These are for the mind. Mind wants a category of experiences, category of steps to take in order to go somewhere. Mind wants to put an effort to do things. So it's all for feeding from the mind that we give all these things. The ultimate thing is love and devotion. What the masters do is, they love us unconditionally. Their love has no condition and no judgment at all. And when that love affects us, we respond. We also fall in love, and we are in a state of devotion. And it is that power that's ultimately going to take us in, nothing else. But till that power comes, till we realize it's only a path of love and devotion, the mind keeps on asking, what next? What should I do next? The mind must ask, what should I do? If I tell somebody, you do nothing, they say, what kind of spiritual path is it? That he's saying, do nothing. The truth is, you should do nothing, but enjoy the love and devotion. And that'll take you straight up. But the mind doesn't accept that. So because we are going through steps through the body, through the sense perceptions, through the mind, and then to the spirit, therefore all these instructions that are given are for the body, for the senses, for our mind, and not for our soul. Our souls need nothing more than the power of unconditional love to take us back home. And that unconditional love comes from a perfect living master. You will find when you start going inside and you are able to see the mind separate from yourself, the pull of that love is so strong, it takes you back into your own true home. Ultimately, we don't go to our home through any method. We go through our home by the pull of unconditional love. That originates from our true home, is the real form of our own self, and that's what pulls us back. Therefore, all these other methods that we talk about are to satisfy the mind, to get it out of the way, as it were, so we could proceed with our journey. That is why disciples want to see the master again and again. There are some other benefits also, and those are that when we look at a master, he is looking at us not from these physical eyes. We are looking at him from the physical eyes, but we are feeling more than the physical eyes feel. We are feeling there is something more going on here than merely looking at a face or looking at a person. What else is going on? What is happening is that the master is not looking at us only with the physical eyes. He is looking at the soul that's inside us. The master is not so concerned with what our body looks like. He is not so concerned what our mind thinks. He's not even concerned what our karma is. His concern is this soul at this stage of its experience here is yearning to go back home. This soul is ready to go back home. And therefore, he pulls that soul with his love. It's a strange experience. People go see the master first time and they start crying. And they don't know why they are crying. They feel a strange emotion. They don't know, no explanation. Why are we feeling like that? Just looking at a person. That's because this connection that is being established is not with the person. It's being established soul to soul for co-travel of the souls together. It's a value of the darshan. They say darshan means looking at the face of a master. When you look at the face of a master, your soul connects at that time. In fact, the connection is so deep with a perfect living master. If one can have a glance at a perfect living master once, it begins your spiritual journey back to your true home. Everything else will follow, including initiation, including meditation, including going back. It will automatically follow with one glance at a perfect living master, even though you may be an atheist and disbeliever altogether. So therefore, there is a very big effect on us, which only opens up when further things keep on happening and our heart opens up to new realities and we find there was something else going on inside. So that is why the darshan of a master has so much value. And if the master looks at us while we are looking at him, that's even better. That's called drishti. Drishti means the master has given attention to you. And that attention pulls you up to a very rapid journey inside. It always makes a difference. And you can experience it. If you are a seeker and you are on the spiritual path, you will find the value of darshan and drishti yourself. There's an old story I heard in India about darshan. What is the value of darshan? I'll share that story with you. There used to be a monk, a muni, like you have rishis and munis in India, monks who practice various kinds of abstinence and so on. One was called Narad. Narad Muni used to go wander around from place to place. He was a little gossipy guy also. He used to tell gossip from one household to another, sometimes creating problems also. But Narad Muni was well known because he was a Muni, had reached a certain state. He was walking around one day and he found that a perfect living master, a Satguru, had come into that village to give a discourse. Everybody was running to see that master. He asked them, "Why are you running?" They said, "We are running to have his darshan." He said, "Darshan? What does darshan mean? What are you running to see a man?" They said, we are not having just to see a man, we are having darshan. So, puzzled by this term, Narad Muni, in his own meditation, he could manifest Brahma, the creator of the causal world, and he manifested in his meditation Brahma and said to him in his meditation, "Brahmaji, I find so many people running to see the face of a person and they call it darshan. What is the value of this darshan?" And Brahmaji answered, he said, "Oh Narad, you go to a certain village and there is a pool there, a pond there. In the pond, there is a snake with his head up. You ask the snake this question, he will give you the answer." So Narad Muni came out of his meditation and walked to that village and found there was a pond of water and there was a snake in it. So he spoke to the snake. He said, "Mr. Snake," I'm just translating into English. He said, "Mr. Snake, what is the value of this darshan looking at the face of a master?" And the snake looked at him, dropped his head and died. He said, "This is amazing. I asked a question and the snake is dead." Then he went back into Brahmaji. He went into meditation, manifested Brahma, and he asked Brahmaji, "What is this happening? You told me, ask this question from a snake. I asked this question, the snake dropped his head and died." "Oh, I am sorry to hear that." Brahmaji says, "I am sorry to hear that. Now you go to a far-off village. There you will find there is a man who has a parrot in his cage. Ask that parrot this question." So he traveled to that other village and he went to that village and asked, "Is there a man here with a parrot?" They said, "Yes, there's a storekeeper. He keeps a parrot. He's got a new parrot in his cage." So he said, "Can I speak to the parrot?" They said, "A very lucky parrot. Narad Muni should come and speak to a parrot." So they brought the parrot forward and he looked at the parrot and said, "Mr. Parrot, what is the value of looking at a person and which they call darshan?" And the parrot looked at him and dropped his head and died. He said, "This is very funny." He went into meditation again and asked Brahma, "What is this going on? Brahmaji, you told me ask this question from the snake died. You told me go and ask the parrot has died. I'm not getting the answer. What is the value of a darshan?" He said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear. The parrot died also. I'm sorry. Now you go to the neighboring kingdom. That's far off, but you go there and the queen is giving birth to a baby boy there. Ask that little newborn baby this question." Now Narad Muni shook inside. That parrot and snake were all right. I hope nothing happens to the baby. Anyway, he traveled for a long time. He traveled to that kingdom. Eventually, he reached there and he asked the king if the queen had given birth to a baby boy. And the king was very happy. "Narad Muni, we welcome you. Muni coming to our palace is very lucky." And Narad Muni very somberly said, "Is that new baby there which has just given birth?" And they said, "Of course." He said, "Can I see the baby?" They said, "Very lucky baby to have your darshan." And he said, "This is strange. I hope nothing happens." He says, "Can I meet the baby all alone?" They said, "Of course." So everybody was turned out and he talked to the little infant baby and said, "Mr. Baby," that's a, anyway, he said, "Mr. Baby, Why do people run after these saints and perfect living masters and call it darshan? Just by looking at their face. The little baby spoke up. He said, Narad, I am the same snake that you saw. And I am the same parrot that you saw in the cage. You are not a saint. You are not a perfect living master. You are just a muni. By having your darshan, in one instant I was able to change my form from a snake to a parrot. By seeing you second time, having your darshan second time, I got a human body straight away. You cut out all the intervening karma of mine. And this is just by darshan of a muni. The darshan of a perfect living master is 1,000 times more. That is how Narad got the answer to the value of darshan. Well, in India, we tell stories like that to make a point. So the point that is being made is that when you look at a perfect living master and you look through his eyes, you are not looking at a human being. You are looking at one who is able to see you, who is able to see your soul. You are establishing a contact with the soul. And therefore, that soul becomes your companion, your friend forever. It's such an important event that happens. That is why the darshan is so important and drishti is also so important. And since the feeling of love originates from the soul, so that is why we like to go and see the master again and again. And then there's another value of going to see the master again and again, and that is our mind distracts us so much in our daily life that by seeing him again and again, we are triggered back on track. As if the mind takes us off track and makes us distracted, we go back to see the master, it puts us back on track. People become very lazy, procrastinating. I'll do meditation tomorrow, then they go and have one darshan, they want to meditate the same day. So therefore, it's also a great reminder, don't leave your track, don't leave your daily routine of meditation. Therefore, the satsang or getting together to think of the master, to talk of the master, has the same value. It has the value of bringing us back on track. If we have the knowledge of what we have to do, we should be able to do it on our own. But the mind is such, it distracts us, it puts us away, procrastinates, says, no, not today, I'll do tomorrow. Not tomorrow, tomorrow again, another day comes. There's a nice verse by an Hindi mystic, a Hindi poet named Kabir. He says, आज कहे कल करूँगा, कल कहे फिर काल, आज काल के कहन में असली जैसे चाल. That means he says, today I will do it, tomorrow I will do it. Tomorrow it's again, tomorrow I will do it. So during this period, everything passes away, you even die. Then he says, काल करे सो आज करे सो अब, पल में परलय होएगी, बाहर करेगा कब. What you have to do tomorrow, do today. What you have to do today, do it now. Because you don't know at any moment, death can come, everything can wipe out, and you will not have a chance to do it. So these are all reminders to us that we should remain on track and get the best value of our human body. The human body is the most valuable thing in creation. It's the only form in which you can find all the truth inside us. If we can transcend our own body, transcend our mind, and transcend the individuated soul, and find the truth of our own totality, all possible in a human body is not possible anywhere else. So we have this body for a limited time. Let's make the best use of it and not let go of this golden opportunity. There's a golden opportunity. We have a human body and we can practice. Let's try this while we are still here. Later on, it will be too late. After we die, we regret. It was too late. Why didn't we do it? We are wasting our time in petty things, in trying to accumulate things which will never go with us, trying to buy this, buy that, and develop this relationship, develop that relationship. So-and-so is mine, this is mine, that's mine. And at the end, nothing is mine. Nothing is going with me. Why not make better use of this time and find out the truth of what will happen, what is going to happen when we die? What will happen afterwards? Why not find that out while we are alive? So let's make best use of this opportunity and the means which are given to us. The most wonderful means that have been given to us, a human body, a body with a feeling of free will, a body that can seek, a body that when it seeks, it finds a teacher, a master who knows us better than we know ourselves, A master whose guidance takes us back to a true home where we discover the master was merely the projection of our own higher self. What a wonderful thing, an opportunity given to us. I hope all of us will take benefit from this. We are all co-travelers on the same path.